Hi everyone, I'm Tam, and we are back with another spurious dish. Today I have some very simple ingredients. I have some lard pork fat, leftover pork fat, which is almost done. 2 onions, medium-sized onions, yellow onions to be specific. Some leftover crackers from another episode. And some salt, which I may or may not use, depends. I'm going to try to make some onion lard spread to go with the cracker. Yeah, you see, like the box suggests salsa. However, we're going with a more heavier spread to finish this off for me anyway. So it's gonna be about 8 tablespoons of lard pork fat, and I'm going to dice these up very small so that way they become like a texture. They become part of the background. So dice these up and slowly simmer them inside the pork fat, so that way they release the flavor into the pork fat. Has become more crispy as well. So the end result should be a kind of like a fatty lard with sweet onion smell and texture. After we cook it in the pan, I will leave it I will leave it inside the refrigerator for like an hour. So that way it becomes from a liquid to a solid again, and then we can like use it to put into the cracker. I may add salt near the end. We'll see how it actually tastes before I do that. So yeah. So I'll come back to you when I have minced up these onions. So kind of small, no, not too small. Like maybe like 1/10 of an inch by 1/10 of an inch kind of cubes. So kind of granular. And I'll put 8 tablespoons of pork fat in the pan to have ready, and then we'll proceed with actually simmering these down. Okay, so the onions are now pretty diced up, not too diced up, not minced up. So still pretty decent sized chunks. So there's a bit of like crunch there's a bit of like texture when you bite it. So diced, not minced up, just kind of like nicely diced up. See, like still decent size. See, you get a little bit of this. About like 0.1 inch by 0.1 inch cubes, so to speak. I have roughly 8 tablespoons of lard pork fat rendered out. It's currently on low now, so I don't hurt myself when I put in the onion. Let me just do this. Put the phone to the side and kind of just gently do this. Let me just put it inside gently here. Be careful. I'll just step back a little bit. Step back a little bit, please. It does splash. Okay. Be careful. Carefully does it. There we are. Carefully does it. Alright. Okay, so nobody got hurt. That's good. And nice. I'll move around a little bit here. Get it nice and coated. If you have like spices, for example, turmeric or turmeric. See what else would go nice with this. Turmeric or paprika. That would probably be good. Kind of sprinkle across, so it has a nice kind of flavor. I'm turning this back onto like medium to low, so it kind of simmers. Move it around so it evenly coats everything. Alright, so just kind of move around until the oil has touched space with all the onions here. You can like move around circularly like this. Helps you do that, and then just kind of like this. So that way it should be kind of this. so it should be kind of evenly dispersed. Paprika or turmeric would be nice, kind of sprinkle across. And we'll let this kind of simmer on medium to low for probably I don't know, half an hour. The onions should kind of shrivel up and release all the flavor into the lard. I may need to add salt, I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, so we'll let this kind of like simmer so it kind of releases the flavor. If you cook this to high temperature, if you turn the temperature too high, that may use up a lot of the oil, and you may not have a lot of oil left to kind of like make a spread with. So just kind of be careful there. Patience will pay off. I'll come back when I'm ready for the next part. Okay, about half an hour has passed, and the onions have shriveled up by probably 50%, so it's more condensed, which means they have released a lot of flavor into the fat of the pork here. See, nice and glistening. Some parts of it are kind of fried. See, that part is kind of fried right there, kind of brown right there. Anyway, mostly pretty good. I'm not going for fried. I'm trying to go for like soft metal and kind of mushy, so that way it's easy to use with the spreads. Anyway, this is what it is. I'm going to put this into a bowl and then leave it on the counter top for like half an hour, so it kind of cools down to like it cools down to probably 10 degrees Fahrenheit more than room temperature, and then I'll put it into the refrigerator, so that way it kind of gradually and steadily cools down versus like a giant drop, you know, which may damage the flavor a little bit. Anyway, so that's the plan. Put this into a nice bowl, let it cool down into the room temperature, cool down near room temperature, above room temperature for maybe half an hour, and then put it into the refrigerator for another like half an hour to kind of finish it off. And then I'll come back and we'll eat to see what we'll use this with the crackers to see what it tastes like. I have not added any salt. This is no salt at all, so it still tastes pretty good. I just tested it before I turned on the video, so it seems pretty good. Okay, so come back until then. Hang tight, everyone. Here is our final product. I left it outside for about 20 minutes, and then I left it inside the refrigerator for about 1.5 hours, something like that. So it can take quite a bit of time for this to re-solidify as a solid. Looks pretty interesting though. Let me zoom in a bit more, kind of see. Looks like a glacier, like a frozen pond. Freshly frozen pond. Okay, so let's see what this tastes like. I have a few crackers, not a lot. Unsalted crackers, so it's still no salt here. No salt, no sugar, just based on the flavor of the ingredients. Let me take a little bit of this. So, let's see here, the smell. It smells very nice. It smells like onion soup. And it's pretty firm too. It looks pretty heavy. So just take one of those. It smells like onion soup. If you add lemon juice, it probably will taste. It probably will smell really nice and taste pretty good. Has a nice citrus flavor. Putting lemon juice into the pan near the end would probably make it like taste similar to lemon curd, some kind of like lemon cake. All right, see what it tastes like here. Okay. It's actually pretty good, yeah. You actually don't need any lemon because the onion is kind of like has a bit of tart citrusness to it, so you don't actually need to add any more citrus to it. Paprika or turmeric would have enhanced the flavor, make it even more prominent. Here's another bite. See. Yeah, this is pretty nice. You could have this for like breakfast, like just a breakfast starter, and this will keep you pretty full. But because this is a lot of fat, so there's a lot of energy in this. Okay, one more. So it tastes pretty good, yeah. No salt, no sugar needed. Pretty all natural. The only thing that's not all natural is the crackers, which it is what it is. So this is a pretty good way to start today. Have a good day, folks.